Minister of Educational Transformation, Chad Blackman. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Educational Transformation, Ms. Kim Bell. Chief Education Officer, Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw. Managing Director of Barbados Light and Power Company Limited, Roger Blackman. Team members from Barbados Light and Power, teachers, team leaders, students, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It gives us great pride to be in this room once again to officially launch the Barbados Light and Power Battle of the Bots 2025. And this morning we are going to hear from a number of the innovators who are part of this process, and of course, the pride that both the ministry and our title sponsor take in hosting such an event. At this moment, I'm going to ask you to stand for the national anthem. Thank you all so much. Please sit. Once again, a very good morning to you. I'm Gaynell Marshall, Communications Consultant with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Educational Transformation. And at this time, I'm going to introduce my fellow communications colleague, Ms. Cassandra Crawford, Communications Advisor with BLNP, who will take us through today's safety briefing.
Protocols already being established by our Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Gaynell Marshall. I say good morning to everyone. Great to have you with us here at the Christie Conference Room. Is everybody in good spirits today? All right, so let me hear a good morning since you're in good spirits. All right, now we sounding good because we're here to celebrate something good, something that is for our youth. So that is certainly something we are all happy about. And here at Light and Power, we are happy to be a part of that. Now, I just want to do a little housekeeping before I get into the safety moment, just so you know where the exit sign is at the back of the room. If you need to utilize one of our washrooms, just outside that door to your left. There are also stairs there, the stairs you entered by in the event there's an emergency, which we absolutely don't expect to happen, but we must be prepared. You can head down those stairs or through our kitchenette to the right. There's a spiral staircase on the outside of the building, just so you know where to go and what to do in the event. There are several assembly points on the outside, just in case we need to do that. Now, at Barbados Light and Power Company, everything we do revolves around safety. We want that every day that our staff, our colleagues come to work, they get home safely to their families. So while I'm not going to focus on how we work safely at this point in time, I do want to focus on safety with a focus on our youth, because safety extends to living. And so since the young people are in focus this morning, this one is especially for you. As mentioned, it focuses specifically on our youth. You are critical to this process, the Barbados Light and Power Battle of the Bots, and I really wanted to give you some safety reminders today. So, we all know that technology is there to help make our lives better and easier most of the time. But we also know that not everything designed for good, for the good of mankind, is used for that. Digital spaces can tend to offer a false sense of security, but today I remind you that as you utilize online platforms, many of you may be fans of gaming, so if you're using online platforms for gaming and other social space interactions, please do so responsibly. We want to make sure that you're safe all around. Though Facebook has made us think that everyone really is a friend, be aware that everyone is not going to be friendly nor a friend. So take note of the following quick tips. Do not give your personal information to anyone online. Remember, though you may call them your online friends, your online buddies, they are not people that you actually really know. So please be cautious. Do not allow anyone to lure you into any chat rooms which do not match your age. If anyone makes you feel unsafe while online, be sure to draw it to the attention of your parents or an adult that you trust. Parents, some of you may be parents, so please take note of this information as well. Parents, whatever parental controls you can put in place, please do so and monitor what your children do online. Give them space, but stay vigilant. We know that as children become teenagers, they want their privacy and all that, but not too much privacy. You stay hawk-eared and hawk-eyed. Be the hovering parents, but from a safe distance. One we could all be reminded of as well, avoid posting too much personal information on social media platforms. And sometimes we get excited and overzealous about the adventures we may be having and enjoying. Not everybody needs to know that you're away for Christmas and your house is empty, so live locations may not be necessary. Just wanted to take the time to give you these safety reminders as we live and we try to live well, live full of good energy, and live safely. Just remember to stay safe, young people, and parents, let's do our best to keep our youth safe as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. Those were excellent and very timely tips for all of us and our mutual protection. At this time, allow me to introduce our education officer, Ms. Danielle Green, who will lead us in a word of prayer before we begin.
Good morning. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us all here safely as we gather to launch the Barbados Light and Power Battle of the Bots competition. We pray for this occasion to be a success and for its execution to encourage the growth of STEAM and student development in our education system. I pray that many joyful memories and strong friendships be birthed from this experience. And thank you for the vision of our ministry, Barbados Light and Power, and all other supporting entities for the investment that provided us the opportunity to continue the development of a competition at this national level. We pray for your protection as we leave this event, and may your name be glorified in all things. Amen.
Thank you so much, Ms. Green. Just a show of hands, who was here last year? You know whose hand went up first? The biggest fan in this room, the managing director of Barbados Light and Power. No one was more excited than Roger Blackman. He said, this is definitely my thing. And if I was any of these students at this age, this is the kind of competition I would want. This is the kind of investment I would want. So it's an easy yes. And ladies and gentlemen, I cannot speak for Mr. Blackman, which is why he is here to speak on his behalf and, of course, on behalf of Barbados Light and Power. Please welcome Managing Director Roger Blackman.
Thank you, Gaynell, and good morning, everyone. The Honorable Chad Blackman, Minister of Educational Transformation, Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw, Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Educational Transformation, Ms. Kim Bell, distinguished guests, educators, students, representatives of the Ministry of Education, members of the media, good morning again. As Gaynell indicated, it is truly a pleasure to welcome you to the launch of the 2025 Barbados Light and Power Battle of the Bots. Today marks another exciting milestone in our shared journey to inspire, challenge, and empower the next generation of Barbadian innovators. The Battle of the Bots has grown significantly since its inception last year. What began as a bold initiative introducing robotics to our classrooms is becoming a local platform for creativity, problem solving, and teamwork. This year, we're proud to see the competition expanding its reach. 26 primary school teams will compete in the preliminaries at Queen's College in October, followed by 16 primary and 8 secondary school teams advancing to the finals at Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center on December 2nd. That growth speaks volumes, not only about the passion of our students, but also about the dedication of our teachers and the commitment of the Ministry of Education to advance STEM learning across Barbados. At Barbados Light and Power, we see energy as more than something that powers homes and businesses. It powers people and can ignite imagination, fuel curiosity, and spark innovation in young minds. That's why we continue to invest in initiatives like Battle of the Bots. Supporting this program isn't just about technology, it's about empowering young minds to think critically, collaborate effectively, and design solutions that make life better. Skills that will shape not just their future careers, but the future of our country. To the teachers and mentors guiding these young budding engineers, thank you for your patience, creativity, and dedication. And to the students, you're the stars of today's event. Whether you win the challenge or not, you're already champions because every experiment, every problem solved, and every idea tested brings you one step closer to unlocking your full potential. As we officially open the 2025 Barbados Light and Power Battle of the Bots, let us remember that this competition is more than just a test of skill. It is a celebration of learning, innovation, and the bright future of Barbados. So on behalf of Barbados Light and Power, I wish to thank all the teams and wish you all the very best of luck. I look forward to seeing your creativity in action and the innovative ways that you bring your ideas to life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roger Blackman. At this time, allow me to introduce you to the second biggest fan from last year. If I was giving out awards, it was very hard to rip her away from the robots. They were enjoying each other's company, and I like that because at heart, this is where our Chief Education Officer wants our creativity and our innovation to go, especially for our younger citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw, Chief Education Officer of the Ministry of Educational Transformation.
Blessed good morning to everyone. I must acknowledge the Minister of Educational Transformation, the Honorable Chad Blackman, who is driving this transformation agenda. But protocol having been established, a blessed good morning to everyone. Today goes beyond just being another event that the Ministry of Educational Transformation is hosting. We celebrate today our bright students, our innovative and dedicated teachers, and we pay homage to our proud and supportive parents. And we express gratitude, of course, to our generous sponsor, the Barbados Light and Power, and other engaged partners, all of whom see the future and share the vision when it comes to educational transformation. This, what is happening here today and the rest of the year, isn't just launching a competition. We are launching a movement that started in 2021 with the first set of robotics kits that we put into schools. And when I say schools, I'm talking about nursery, primary, and secondary schools. A movement that saw approximately 733 teachers across those levels being trained between then and now. And before that, when I was wearing a different hat at the Erdison Teachers Training College, we had hundreds more teachers trained in coding and robotics. This movement also saw approximately 4,700 kits going into nursery, primary, and secondary schools. This represents a move away from the static learning that exists in our schools towards a dynamic ecosystem where students build, they test, they make mistakes, they try again, and ultimately succeed through the power of teamwork. This is about engaging our students in real-life problem solving through project-based learning. It is a space where theory meets practice and imagination meets engineering. The beauty of this coding and robotics is that it creates a mindset. Students understand that what they're learning in the classroom isn't only linked to passing an exam, but it is linked to solving a real problem, building a robot that can do something to help us in the technological world. I listened to Cassandra a little earlier, and she was talking about what technology is. And technology speaks to the application of science and how it can make our lives easier. And this is what we want our children to do. So just as our children are building robots, they're really building their futures. Because nobody can deny that this world is technologically advancing. We therefore have to ensure that our children technologically advance with it so that they are not left behind. You may ask, why coding and robotics? The answer is quite simple, because coding and robotics is the perfect blend of science, technology, creativity, and problem solving. As you heard Mr. Blackman say, it helps our students to think critically, to experiment fearlessly, and to connect the theory with the practice. It embodies the science, the technology, the engineering, the art, and the math. When students are engaging in coding and robotics, it is not just about memorizing formulae, F equals ma, or saying that, speed equals distance over time and just writing it on a paper to get an answer. They're actually looking at the robot. They're trying to determine the kind of force that the robot needs to apply to get the block to move. They're trying to calculate the speed with which the robot must move in order to cover a certain distance within a certain time. They're applying mathematical concepts. So they're going to have to do a bit of rearranging equations. So if you have force is equal to mass by acceleration, and they have to find out the mass, they now have to rearrange that equation so that you now have mass is equal to force divided by acceleration. All in all, it helps our students to plan and to test and to replan and to retest and to persevere and to, at the end of the day, discover something. So it goes beyond allowing you children to be ready for an exam. It is preparing you and equipping you with the skills that are required for life. You need to be able to persevere. You need to be able to work with others. You need to be able to communicate effectively. Most of all, you need to be able to critically think. We express deep and sincere gratitude to our sponsors and private sector partners who make initiatives like Battle of the Bots possible, most notably the Barbados Light and Power, Promotech, and ABEDS, along with other industry collaborators who continue to stand behind this vision. You are investing in the human capital of this nation, in our future, engineers and designers and programmers and entrepreneurs, and students who will not even be those things, but will utilize those skills to build a bright future. You are helping to bridge the gap between the classroom learning and the modern workplace. I cannot leave here without thanking the teachers and the parents who stand behind the students every single day. You are there not telling them exactly what to do, but you are true guides by the side. I have seen you in action. I have seen you watch the students make mistakes that they can recover from. I've seen you guiding them, prodding them on, encouraging them, inspiring them. I want to say thank you to the teachers and to the parents. Together, we can make the Battle of the Bots an annual event, but more so a flagship of innovation on the national education calendar, because it will be a symbol of Barbados' commitment to equipping every child with the competencies to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
And we thank you so much, Chief. Does anyone else feel like if Chief was your study buddy back in the day in science, you all would have just done a lot better? I feel like I would have done a lot better. Thank you for that. And now we have very special remarks from the Honorable Chad Blackman, Minister in the Ministry of Educational Transformation. Now, Minister Blackman was not here last year, but I think he has a good sense of what we are in for, especially because I personally believe the next big global innovative idea is coming from within this room. And there's no bigger cheerleader right now than the minister himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, Minister Blackman.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, Managing Director of the BLMP, Roger Blackman, Chief Education Officer, RPS, members of the BLMP family, young students, teachers, all of you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Fantastic. Let me start by saying how pleased I am to join you at the second iteration of the Battle of the Bots. And I want to publicly commend the BLMP for your continued leadership and sponsorship in this initiative. And certainly, perhaps playing on words, you're lighting the future and pouring innovation in Barbados. And why is this important? You've heard the Chief, you've heard Mr. Blackman speak about the importance, of course, of technology and innovation. And why is this key? Barbados is a country we've enjoyed a high quality of life, an economy that has had its peaks and its troughs, competitiveness that requires us to be innovative and think in new ways in an ever-changing world that requires us to be on the cutting edge of technology and doing new things. And if we are to remain competitive now and in the future, we have to continue to invest in initiatives like this. So it's not just, as you heard, about creating the ability for young people to use technology and to master robotics. Whilst that's part of it, it is really about igniting and capturing the imagination of the future of Barbados and the Caribbean and the world. And I start there because if we are to ensure that the future of our country is secure, particularly in the movement now of further industrialization as the world goes through another wave of industrialization, we have to ensure that the young people in Barbados are given the necessary tools at their fingertips at the earliest stage of their education and throughout, so that they can then leave school to be competitive with their global peers. And I say that for a number of reasons. When you look at what we're trying to do in education in Barbados, I've said it a number of times over the last few months. We set the bold agenda of being the #1 education system in the world within the next 7 years. Yes, it's a bold agenda. But our history and our DNA as a country helps me to know that we have all within our space to be able to deliver on that. But what does #1 look like? What does #1 feel like? What is the mindset of being #1 in the world? Not in the Caribbean, in the world. It means that excellence must be in everything that we do. So to every teacher who is helping these students with the robotics and the coding, you are also in that mindset of #1. How you mentor them, they must be able to think you can be the best. And I go there because when you look at what's happening in Asia, China, South Korea, Singapore, those students at a very young age are exposed to these things. But they don't just stay there. A lot of the technology that we are using in this part of the world comes out of the ideas and innovation coming from Asia. So therefore, there is a correlation and a strategy between the development of robotics and coding at a very, very, very early age and the output that we're seeing at the end in those economies. And it cannot be, and I've said it before, that all of the technology that the world is using and consuming and purchasing, and that we all use and are happy to purchase, comes out of that part of the world, and we are simply the consumers of that. It must be that the average young person in Barbados, should they want to be able to do so, should have the tools, hence the initiatives like this, at their fingertips to help them to conceive ideas that can now solve global problems, as you've heard the Chief Education Officer outline. Because in what we call the creation of a knowledge-based economy, simply put, how do we convert the ideas that we have as a society, turn them into a solution to solve a global problem, backed by intellectual property so that you can protect your idea and turn it into revenue for our people. And this, therefore, presents an exciting time in our country's development. And I think this year, the second iteration must be the catapult and rebirth of the imagination of our country with respect to pride and industry. And I want to focus on the industry side of our perspective this morning. We've been industrious in a number of areas. We've been innovative in a number of areas. We've done new things in sport, in health, in infrastructure, in global leadership. We all know Barbados right now, led, of course, by our Prime Minister, continues to change the global narrative on sustainability, on issues of climate, on issues of finance. But we have never, at least in this format, changed the direction of the world in terms of technology. But in order to do all of that, we have to understand and master the basics. So let me see all the young people here who are competing in this year's Battle of the Bots. Put your hands up. All of you. Good. My challenge to you, this second iteration of the Battle of the Bots, is to not only to do well in this, yes, so that is part of it, that is expected and you'll do well. But my challenge to you, irrespective of how young you are or how old you are, is to see yourself, as was said earlier, as the next creator of the next big wave of some piece of technology that can solve any challenge anywhere in the world, starting from Barbados. And the Ministry of Educational Transformation and the government of Barbados, partnering, of course, with the private sector in ventures like this, is working to ensure that you have the space to be able to now shape your future. Part of that transformation also requires for us to get into the minds of our young people that they can do anything that their mind can conceive. And what is this transformation agenda about? It is not just about, of course, ensuring that we have modern infrastructure. Is that necessary? Yes. Is it about also ensuring that teachers have the best tools at their disposal to continue to deliver quality training and education? Yes. But whilst those things are necessary, it's not sufficient. And what we're trying to do here is to ensure that these young people can lead the world. As I said, we're right now leading the world in conversations on key areas of sustainability and climate, transforming the global financial architecture, which was created out of the Bretton Woods institutions post-World War I and post-World War II, at a time when we were not sovereign states or we weren't even countries. Now, the challenge for this generation, these young people, is to create a future where you will be required to lead it, and you will be required to compete against your competitors in Africa, or brothers and sisters in Africa, in Latin America, of course the Caribbean, in Europe, North America, in Asia, and the Arab world. And therefore, once you now see yourself as the future designers of things, robots, businesses, cars, you name it, aircrafts, there's nothing stopping the young Barbadians from being able to do that. Simple things in our DNA. How many of you young people know where the grapefruit was invented? Anyone can tell me? Grapefruit. How many of you know what a grapefruit is? As simple as that may seem. Everybody knows a grapefruit. Where was the grapefruit created? Take a wild guess. Yes, you young there from Christchurch girls. Can you guess which country the grapefruit was created in? Anyone wants to help her? Barbados. How many of you have a $2 bill? Anyone has a $2 bill that they can take out? Yeah? Look for the nearest $2 bill. Let's spot it on the camera, spot it on that. What's the name on the $2 bill? Say it out loudly. No, on the $2 bill? John Redmond Bevelle. Grafted 2 citrus fruits, and we now have the grapefruit. So whether you go to Australia or Hong Kong or Germany or New York, and you go to breakfast, or you go into the supermarket or a market, or you go outside and you see a grapefruit, that was created where? Here in Barbados. Now, young people, you're not to indulge in this, but you still have to be aware, at a later age, post 18, 21, rum was invented in which country? Barbados. Why am I saying all of this? Those were inventions for that time. You're still used to there. But it is in your consciousness and in your DNA to be a global leader in creating things. And therefore, the robotics, I don't know whose phone is this, but permit me. This was created somewhere. We import this, we buy this, we use it. But it can't be that we only use technology that is imported. And my challenge to this generation, and that's why this initiative is so key. Yes, you're going to learn robotics and coding. This is your phone here. No problem. Yes, this is all good. But why is this challenge and this competition a perfect idea? Because you're now unleashing a spirit across the country of innovation and excellence and daring them now to be global leaders in anything that their mind can conceive. And this really, to my mind, will be one of the key hallmarks of the transformation in education. How do we say to the young people of the world that the world is yours to lead? Notwithstanding that we're a small country geographically, a large ocean state, we now have to reimagine how we see ourselves. As Errol Barrow said years ago, what is the mirror image of our country? How do we now realize that we have excellence in cricket, the greatest cricket that the world has ever seen, who grew up maybe a couple hundred yards from here? Rihanna, a mile or two from here. Archie, how many of you know what Archie is? How many of you know what Google is? Google. The search engine, Google. Right. So Archie was the precursor, where the algorithm that was set up, that all of search engines thereafter now use, was created by who? What's his name? Say it again for them.
Mr. Ramtage.
There we go. Barbados. So every time you go on Google or you use any other search engine, the idea and the intellectual muscle that conceived the idea of a search engine started from the country where you live. Why am I saying all of this? This is not divorced from this, This is now the vehicle for the next wave of our development and post-independence and as a republic to now ensure that we can create the future. And it allows for us also, imagine now these young people conceiving different things to solve different problems around the world, whether it be climatic challenges, physical challenges in terms of infrastructure, you name it. The intellectual property, the revenue comes back to Barbados. It helps us to grow our economy. When you look at China, about 20, 25 years ago, moving from a peasant-based economy to now pretty much, in my view, the powerhouse of the world in terms of economic development and infrastructure and technology. That happened for a number of reasons, but part of it, they place significant premium in education and technology and marrying the two with their national strategic development objectives. So I'm not here to give any long speech this morning. I'm simply here to, one, to commend the BLMP for its continued vision and support, well, not even support, for sponsoring and to leading this, partnering with the ministry, of course. And two, to our young people, this is your initiative to lead and to conceive. And never must you believe that this is just about this. You must also use a technology that was not there 20, 30 years ago when I went to school. And to go online and to see what your competitors around the world are doing. Parents, if many of you can hear what I'm saying, encourage your children to be world-class in everything they do. Ask them what problem can they solve. In your neighborhood, look around your neighborhood, your village, your wherever you live. What problem is there that I can solve? And try to use the technology through the bots to create something. At your school, how are you using robotics to help your team to win into school sports at the primary level or secondary level? How do you help your athletes now to become even more analytic in their delivery in cricket, in football? Technology is everywhere. This microphone that I'm speaking into that amplifies my voice, who conceived the idea? Somebody did. These things, young people, didn't just pop out of the atmosphere. That camera that's recording me right here, that's an idea of somebody. The light, the projector, all of these are ideas that started with somebody. And the challenge to you, and the challenge to this generation right now, has to be now, what is the next wave of development that we are going to usher in globally, anchored by Barbados through our education system. So this is exciting for me. This is my first year here now, but certainly you're going to have to add me to that champions list next year. All right, so good morning, and God bless you, and long may this initiative live. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister Blackman. Consider yourself added. And I know I said Mr. Emtage, and the gentleman will probably say that's my father. I'm Alan. His name is Alan Emtage. So in addition to everything that you have heard from Mr. Roger Blackman, the Chief Education Officer, and most recently the Minister of Education, I think one of the most important things to do to really bring this home is to see yourselves in action, yourselves and your peers. So I want to turn your attention to our screen here. And if we could probably just dim the lights just a little bit so that we can get a better view, fantastic. This is just a compilation of the participants that took part and are currently taking part in this year's competition. So let's have a look.
It's not just fun, it's science.
We can't train until it works.
We love making robots move. At Trinity Academy, teamwork makes the dream work.
We learn how to code and have fun.
We are ready for the finals.
Creativity takes center stage.
We built it from the ground up. We can't wait to show what we made. No challenge, same mission, victory.
Excellent job. Thank you so much, Kevin. And of course, Kenneth, I know you're somewhere in this room as well, quietly in the background, but yes, that's it right there. So students, who in here feels they have the best the best project going into this competition? One person? One person? You know you're right. Stand up on your own. Who in here thinks they have the best invention? put your hands in the air. Make a little noise for your team. All right. Christchurch girls don't take this sitting. Now here y'all are defending champions. All right. But you know what? Just as the chief said earlier, it is so important for us to give the moment, especially to our teachers and our team leaders who have just worked tirelessly with you in the trenches. And I know they have the best times of their lives, but they really did dedicate a lot of time. So at this particular moment, I want to introduce to you, for those who don't know him, Mr. Sean Hoyt. He is a coding and robotics teacher. And Sean is here to give us a real life teacher testimonial about what it's like to not only teach coding and robotics, but to lead a team. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Hoyt.
Good morning, everyone. Protocol already being established. I want to jump right into it because I see the excitement of the video and what is possible. And what is possible could not have been really been an event without a lot of hard work. And I know that some of the coaches and the students would agree. The students at my school tell me that I'm very hard on them. I am very hard on them because if you are the champions, you got to put up a good fight. You can't just roll over because if you don't get in the final, it can look like you fluked the first one. You know? So one of the things that I reflect on is last year in the sense that we had a pretty interesting start where we would have begun having conversations with Barbados Light and Power. And at the time, Troy, who was the education officer at the time, I see some heads shaking over here. It was a difficult time to get this competition together last year. Who was involved knows what we had to go through. And even as a teacher, having to create a team from moving from the students being in the classroom to a competition type environment. Now, let's just say that in some cases that was kind of easy because students are competitive. A lot of them at Christchurch are competitive. And I find that it was a little easier for them. But last year we would have had 8 students in the final. And those 8 students would have now been grown to, 25? And I think that that is a good start to the competition. Having had the competition last year and just so many other schools coming to me and asking me, how could we get in? How can we get on board? And I'm happy to see my colleagues here from the other schools, St. Mark's and St. Jude's and stuff like that. And from what I saw them do in the preliminaries, it looked like if they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So we're hoping to have an exciting time on the 2nd of December. But one of the things that I cannot go without saying is that on the first meeting that we had with Barbados Light and Power, I have to pay respect to Mrs. Jackie Marshall Clark. And she was stellar. I will say that she was very accommodating. I really do miss her. We had a little thing in our little relationship over the competition in that we would talk and she would always say, like, don't worry about it. I guess that was her personality. Don't worry about it. And I really didn't worry about it. So even when we came here for the launch last year, she kept checking on me. You're okay. You're getting anything. You want anything. And from what I was told, that's her personality. That's who she is. She's a genuine person. And I want to say that she had a vision. And she showed us that vision when we were talking. And I remember she said, tell me what y'all want. And Troy and I, we talked, and then she said, okay, we can give you all what y'all want. And I believe that that was Mr. Blackman's idea too, that he wanted to see the competition go forward, and she was very into it, and she was like, whatever y'all need, we will be there. And it was heartfelt for us to see that she pushed that much effort into it. And I know she was a busy person. I used to feel bad having to call her, but I understood that she really did not mind. So for me, as organizer and then my team also participating, it felt good that the vision that we had would be realized through the Barbados Light and Power. And I want to really express a heartfelt thank you, and I appreciate it. And like I think the chief said, we hope that this can be a relationship that we can have in the future. The other teams that are here, I'm happy to see you, and hopefully next year we can have a much bigger team represented here, and hopefully that would not multiply, like the chief said, and the minister said, sorry, that we can build beyond Barbados. One of the things that I think that we have to do is to see how robotics can grow Barbados, not just competitions. Competitions will always happen. But what comes out of the competition? What have we done? What have we developed? What have we created? So this is the second iteration. I am hoping that by the third iteration or the fourth, there's a greater impact from coding and robotics across Barbados. Not just in the schools. The minister mentioned industry, and I was in a conversation with a person that works at Pine Hill Dairy, and he said that there's a piece of equipment that they have to pay, I think something like $5 million to repair. $5 million, and it's a robotic piece of equipment. Now we know where robotics stand. It is expensive for us because it is new. We are now getting into it in the sense that China and the rest of the world is ahead of us. But I will say this, after my experiences, we are not far behind, and we can be a part of the race. We can stand toe-to-toe with anybody. And as I go, the last thing I'll say is that the Ministry of Education would have sent a few of us overseas this year. Yeah, keep thinking last year. This year. And what I saw from the robotics competition is not something we can't do. And I believe very much that nobody in the world has a greater hold on robotics than we can. So I'm hoping that this is the start, not only for a small group, but a bigger group, that Barbados become more robotic in their mind, in their thinking. How do we, as the minister say, how do we help ourselves? Because we are consumers. How do we become creators? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sean, and very well said. If we take nothing away from this today, we're going to take away the question, how do we go from being consumers to the creators? And I love that entire mindset. This gentleman here has been quietly working in the background, just making sure that what started last year as an incredibly innovative idea not only maintained its momentum, but surpassed it. And I dare say, sir, you have surpassed it. You need to see this gentleman, because if you don't bring him up, he otherwise would not show himself. But it's important that we spot the light where it needs to be from time to time, and this is one of those times. With our education officer with responsibility for coding and robotics, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Mr. Kenneth Turton.
Good morning, everyone. Okay. Minister of Educational Transformation, the Honorable Chad Blackman, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Educational Transformation, Ms. Kim Bell, Chief Education Officer, Dr. Ramona Bradshaw, Managing Director of the Barbados Light and Power, Mr. Roger Blackman, distinguished guests, sponsors, members of the media, and of course, our brilliant finalists. Again, good morning and welcome. It is my absolute pleasure here to stand before you today as we have unveiled the finalists for this year's Barbados Light and Power's Battle of the Bots competition. This competition, now in its second year, is quickly growing to be one of the most anticipated fixtures in our national educational and technological calendar. Battle of the Bots is far more than a competition. It is a celebration of creativity, innovation, teamwork, and the boundless potential of our young minds. Since its inception in 2024, the competition has provided a space where students can transform curiosity into innovation and ideas into action. Through this initiative, we have seen what happens when education meets inspiration. Over the past 4 years, our students in both the primary and secondary schools have been introduced to block code programming and robotics through the VEX platform. What has started as an exploration in classrooms has now become a stage where imagination, technical skill, and strategic thinking shine brightly. As a nation, we recognize that the developing global citizens require more than just technical knowledge. It calls for creativity, resilience, communication, and collaboration, the very traits that are on full display in this competition. Through the Battle of the Bots, we are equipping our young Barbadian students not only to adapt to a rapidly changing world, but to help shape it. This competition was designed with 3 clear goals in mind. First, to motivate our students and educators to continually improve their skills and performance by giving them a platform to showcase their hard work. Second, to nurture a healthy and collegiate spirit of competition, where teams learn from and with each other, discovering that collaboration and rivalry can coexist beautifully. Thirdly, to give our students an opportunity to apply what they've learned, to analyze, evaluate, and ultimately solve real-world problems through coding and robotics. Today, we celebrate those who have risen to that challenge, the finalists who have demonstrated not only technical excellence, but also creativity, teamwork, and perseverance. However, before we recognize our finalists, I would like to just take a moment to extend a heartfelt thanks to the committee of the Battle of the Bots game design. If you guys could just stand for me a moment. These are the persons whose brilliant minds helped develop this year's competition. For the primary division, they developed the exciting game, Go Get It, which encouraged our youngest competitors to think strategically, act swiftly, and work collaboratively to achieve their goals. For the secondary division, they designed Stack 'em, a challenge which demanded precision, coordination, and advanced problem solving, truly testing the limits of creativity and engineering skill. These games are not only fun and engaging, but they also reflect real-world engineering and teamwork principles that lie at the heart of robotics education. To each member of the design committee, thank you for your vision, dedication, and the countless hours that you have spent conceptualizing, testing, and refining these challenges. Your work continues to inspire both students and educators alike. To our primary school finalists, your enthusiasm and imagination reminds us that the spirit of discovery starts early. You have shown that no idea is too small and no dream is too big when fueled by curiosity. To our secondary school finalists, your innovation, precision, and drive to set the stage for the next generation of engineers, designers, and leaders. You represent the power of persistence, and your work stands as an inspiration to your peers and to us all here today. To the teachers and coaches, thank you for guiding these young minds, for spending countless hours troubleshooting code, testing robots, and encouraging creativity. Your commitment to nurturing their potential ensures that the future of technology in Barbados is in capable hands. Finally, to our sponsors and partners, your investment in this initiative makes opportunities like this possible. Your support is a vote of confidence in our students' talents and the transformative power of education and innovation. As we look forward to the grand finals, let us remember that every robot built, every challenge faced, and every solution designed brings us one step closer to shaping a more innovative Barbados. To all our finalists, you have already achieved something extraordinary. Today, let's recognize your hard work, celebrate your creativity, and applaud your courage to compete. Continue to push boundaries, continue to explore, and continue to build the future. One line of code, one robot, and one brilliant idea, one step at a time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Kenneth, and an extra round of applause for you for your sterling, quiet, steadfast leadership where this particular project is concerned. We have heard much, we are looking forward to much, and I can't wait for everyone to not only get on board but try out some of these demonstrations. But before we do that, I want to invite a young student by the name of Ms. Paula Bridgman, who will lead us with today's vote of thanks. Paula Bridgman.
Good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of all the participating schools at this exciting launch of the Battle of the Bots 2025. First, I would like to specially acknowledge and welcome our distinguished guests, the Honorable Chad Blackman, Minister of Educational Transformation, Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw, Chief Education Officer, Mr. Roger Blackman, Managing Director of the Barbados Light and Power Company, all other specially invited guests, our dedicated coaches and mentors, and of course, my fellow students. Thank you all for being here to make this day such a special and inspiring one. A very big thank you to our title sponsor, the Barbados Light and Power, for making this entire competition come to life. Your support and vision continue to encourage students like us to explore science, technology, and innovation in fun and meaningful ways. You remind us that the future of energy on our island is in our hands. We also thank the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training for your leadership and support. This competition, along with Culinary Robotics, teaches young students like us real skills that can help us in many different jobs and in the real world, like problem solving, teamwork, and fast thinking. To our wonderful teachers, mentors, and program coordinators, including Mr. Troy Belgrave, Mr. Kenneth Turton, Mr. Sean Hoyt, and Ms. Danielle Green, thank you for guiding us with patience and excitement. You may learn an adventure every day. A special thank you as well to the organizing team, technical staff, and media partners for all your hard work behind the scenes. And finally, to my fellow students, the true Battle of the Bot champion. Congratulations on being part of this amazing journey. Let's continue to create, innovate, and build the future one robot at a time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Paula Bridgman. And Kenneth, if I can put in a word for next year, I would like some of this youthful energy beside me next year, huh? I'm getting old. I'm just going to nominate Ms. Paula from now. That was excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for taking the time today, but I know I don't want to stand between you and the interactive demonstrations. So as they say, let the games begin. And for this, we are going to invite, of course, my tablet was shut down now. They also sense that games are happening. Teacher and student representatives of West Terrace Primary and West Berry Primary. You all are here, yes? All right. Lead us. We are in your capable hands for the interactive demonstration. Thank you all so much.
Just going to center. Bring my tripod. Bring your tripod.
Want to give the instructions to the game first, and then.
Actually, all right.
All right, so we're just going to give a brief run through of what the instructions of the game are. Okay, so each team is going to start in their parking position. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to give you the adapted instructions, right? So each team will start in their parking position. For the competition, they will be given 2 minutes and 2 minutes max, yes. They'll be given 2 minutes max in the competition. 30 seconds of that will include coding to get one of the blocks into their location, scoring location. And then you will have 2 drivers. One driver will get 1 minute, and then the next driver will get another minute. And there are the idea is that they're supposed to get as many of their color blocks into their scoring zones. Today, we're not going to do the autonomous, so there will be no coding today. We will have one driver demonstrating for the 2 minutes to see how many of the blocks they can get into their scoring zone, right? So that is the general instructions for the game, and it's about to be an exciting one. This is very difficult to do, especially under timed pressure. And we're going to see these 2 experts here navigate their robots to get into their scoring zones, to get their blocks into their scoring zones.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, economic is got the card.
During the competition, the scoring zones will be marked with the color of each team. You don't know beforehand what color you're going to get, and that is where the programming comes in, because you have to be able to program your robot based on what color you get when you get to the competition, to program to make sure that you can get your block into your scoring zone. So that part of it requires some skill, some innovation. Yes, I'll be have a time. Who is doing the timing? You'll do the time? Okay. Only the driving, yes. And we will have the full 2 minutes. So imagine that for the competition as well, there are 2 drivers that share that 2 minutes. And I forgot to mention the last 30 seconds of the competition. They have these special well blocks here. These special well blocks are either red, they are both red and blue. You can only go for this well block at the last 30 seconds of the game, right? And this block is actually worth twice as much as the normal block. There are 2 of them at the corners, and you can imagine that it's very difficult to get a block from a corner. And so that is where the build comes into play, because the students have to build the robot in a way that they can maneuver that block out of that corner. They only have 30 seconds to do that. And they will decide whether or not they want to go for this well block, or whether they want to spend their time going and parking, because parking is also an additional 3 points, okay? So that's strategy, because you have to decide whether or not, keep going. You have to decide whether or not you're going to risk going for the high stakes of trying to get this block out of the corner, or am I going to play it safe and get into my parking zone. That is where the strategy comes in. And I must tell you, when we were at the preliminaries a couple weeks ago, these young people were amazing. They were serious. They came and they were serious when they were competing, and the energy in the room was so intense. It was exciting. I mean, when the countdown was going on, you can just feel the energy in the room, and everybody is just there waiting. Like, is she going to get it? Is she going to get it? Is she going to get it? And it was so amazing. So I look forward to the finals, for all of you to be able to see these young people on display come December 2nd. I hope we're ready now. Okay, so since we have a little time, we can probably try to run some code. So we'll do the autonomous, right? So when the students come, they will flip a coin. The captains will flip the coin to decide whether to choose which side they're going to be on. And then they get some minutes to code their robot to see if they can get how many blocks in the time, the first 30 seconds, how many blocks they can get into their scoring zone. So let's just do the honors here. We can have a demonstration of what the coding looks like.
All right, so the captain just up for it. So I can ask you, so you want the windmill or you want the coat of arms? Coat of arms it is. Okay, so you have the option to choose if you want red or black. You want red or you want, okay, so you're red. So red.
Okay, good. So the young lady from, this is West Terrace. Yeah, so she is going to get some chance, and the Westbury young gentleman, they are going to code their robot now. The robot is supposed to be able to drag a block in their color. So she has selected red. So she can really only score red blocks, right? We ain't ready yet. We're not ready. Oh, she's just testing, right? So she has to code and make sure that the code is accurate. And obviously, you know, that means that they have to be able to count the blocks. You have to know a little math because you have to do degrees, right? You have to do some measurements as well, yes, right? And then they have to be able to get as many blocks into their scoring zone in the first 30 seconds. So are we ready? Are you all ready? You're ready? And then we will only start when both teams say that they're ready. So we're going to start the 30 seconds now in 3, 2, 1, go. So she has been able to get the block. Let's see if she can get it into her scoring zone. It's a little bit outside, but she gets it in. Very good. She gets one block in. And Westbury is here trying to get their blue block in right now.
7, 6, 5, 4.
Is he going to make it? 1. All right, so you pause, right? And this area right here that he has actually been able to get the block by, you can get points for getting it in front of your scoring zone. But since Westbury was able to actually score their block, they would win this round of the competition, which would be the autonomous section of the competition. They would win that, and they would receive 5 points, right? And then after that, now, we're ready. Okay, good. Yeah, so we are imagining here that the red is, over here is red, and over here is blue. Can we do that? I think it's
Wait, this one is blue.
blue.
Yeah.
So then it would be blue and blue.
Yeah.
Blue and blue, red and red. Okay? All right. So now, for the competition, what would usually happen is that they would switch. So there is one programmer and then there are 2 drivers. What would happen is that they would switch and give the controls to one of their other teammates, and those teammates will compete in the drive competition now. Yes. On the day of the competition, it will be colored. Don't worry about that. All right, and we are ready to go. So we are having 2 minutes, 1 minute, and then, since it's only one driver, we're just going to do the 2 minutes. But I will let you know when the last 30 seconds happen for you to be able to go for the block, the well block, or to park, okay? So we are ready to go. Both drivers, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we're seeing here that Westbury was actually driving 2 blocks at a time. West Terrace. They're moving very quickly. So we have 3 blocks and 2. Wow, these robots are going at some high speeds. Oh, we have Westbury here almost getting a 2 block slide. How much time do we have? Right, so 1 minute you would have switched, but since we're going, we have a 2 block slide here. Very good, Westbury. Let me get out of your way. Oh wow, these students are doing so well that they probably will be standing waiting for be able to go to the well block. We have a little competition here. 3, 2, 1, go. You can go for your well block now, or you can park. Now we see that a blue block is inside of the red. You can't go out, you can't get in there. You have to use your time wisely. So you see that this one here looks like a little crab. They have like some pinchers. They were able to get it from inside of the corner. 8, 7, can they park? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Very good. This is very, very good. All right, so you see that neither team was able to park, but they both did go for the well block, and that is commendable. They were able to get all of the blocks in. They were able to go for the well block, and in this occasion, we had a little bit of interaction there, some battling going on. So right now, we will see that the team that scored the blue block in the red section, they would actually lose. Well, they wouldn't lose, but they would actually be given that extra point to the red. Yeah, right? So it's very important for you to not push your opponent's blocks into your scoring zone or into their scoring zone, because then you are giving away precious points. Okay? So in this stage, can we have one of the judges counting to see who would win this competition? So we have a judging panel here that would count.
So 7 times 5 is 35. Is 35. Sorry. What? Okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Right.
It's okay. Right, and now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We gotta count who pushed the blue block.
The autonomous. Right.
Yeah, but who pushed the blue block into the red zone?
That would be the.
It was red.
It was red that pushed the blue block in the red zone.
So if red pushed the blue into the red zone, they took away an opportunity for the blue to get those points. So that means that they give up those points. So right now we have, both of the wild cards are inside. So both teams scored 45 from what we have laid out here. So the decider is the autonomous. So whoever won the autonomous would have won this competition.
And that was red, and that was Westbury. West Terrace. Why do you keep doing that? West. And that was West Terrace on this occasion. Please give them a round of applause. Very, very good. That was amazing. Are we going to go again? One more time? All right, so you have an idea of how the competition goes. And as I said, because they're switching drivers and all of that, the competition is intense and it's very exciting to see, to witness, and to be a part of. And I look forward to seeing all of you there on December 2nd to see the Battle of the Bots competition in action. Thank you.
Thank you.
drive the whole thing.